Unidentified miscreants destroy bridge along National Highway 2 Imphal Dimapur Road between Kobru Lekha and Sapramaina using powerful IED in wee hours. Movement of goods-laden trucks along National Highway 37 Imphal Zirbam Road resumes with security convoys after 8 days of halt by driver strike. Heavy storm wreaks havoc in several districts of Manipur, damaging several houses. No reports of any casualties so far. And Manipur High Court Chief Justice Siddharth Mridul assures violence-affected displaced people of approaching centre and state government to ensure them necessary help. Hello and welcome to Impact News. You're watching Primetime English Bulletin. I'm JOYSHREE, bringing you the top stories and latest news at this hour. Unidentified miscreants destroyed a bridge along the crucial lifeline of Manipur, the National Highway number 2, Imphal Dimapur Road between Kobru Lekha and Sapramaina using powerful IED in the wee hours around 12:25 a.m. today. The explosion severely damaged the bridge, forming 3 huge craters. As of now, heavy vehicles such as goods trucks and passenger buses are unable to pass through the bridge, even though small vehicles can manage to cross. Top officers of security forces have inspected the blast site. However, there is no clue as to who and why the explosion was caused till the time of filing this report. It may be noted that the explosion at the bridge occurred hours after the heavy exchange of fire between armed Kuki and Meitei village volunteers at Awang Sekmai in Imphal West district yesterday. Bulletproof vehicles of Manipur police had rushed to contain the situation and it went viral on social media. It is speculated that the bridge must have been damaged intentionally to prevent the entry of the bulletproof vehicles towards Kangpokpi side. It may also be recalled that intense IED explosion occurred at a significant bridge located between Paugak Chau Ikai Awang Lekai and Kwakta in Bishnupur district June last year, at the peak of Manipur violence, leaving at least 3 people injured. NIA has already nabbed 2 suspects identified as Muhammad Nur Hussain and Semin Lun Gangte in connection with the Kwakta bomb blast case. As per the NIA, blowing up of the bridge intended to hinder security movement. Regarding today's explosion, there is no clue yet. Committee on Tribals Unity Kotu condemns that unidentified assailants had carried out bomb attack on a bridge situated between Sapramaina and Kobru Lekha. The committee also decried over firing by unidentified assailants towards Phailing Luang Sangol area. While press note from Kuki students organization Sadar Hill alleges that the bomb explosion at the bridge on Sapramaina Kobru Lekha stretch of National Highway number 2 was carried out by mercenaries of Meitei extremist group. Condemning the incident, the student organization urges relevant authority to take necessary actions. Committee on Tribals Unity Kotu also condemns the attack at Faizang Luang Sangol allegedly by armed militias and Arambai Tengol yesterday. Kotu says that these outfits need to redeem themselves from the misdeeds of sabotaging the recently concluded parliamentary election in the valley. It also pointed out that the case of 2 Kukizo volunteers who were killed at Phailing Mall is still unresolved. Kotu tells Chief Minister of Manipur to control the armed militias from trespassing and carrying out aggression into Kukizo areas. Coordinating Committee on Manipur Integrity, Kokomi, also condemns the incident of bombing a bridge along Asian Highway or the National Highway number 2 at Sapramaina Kobru Lekha stretch. Kokomi terms the incident as an act of terrorism. Press note from Communist Party of India, Manipur State Council also condemns that incidents of gunfights and bomb explosion occurred along the National Highway number 2 near Sapramaina after the Lok Sabha polls for Inner Manipur, despite the government's claim that peace has been restored in the state. Movement for goods-laden trucks along National Highway 37 Imphal-Zirbam Road resumed today with adequate security convoys after 8 days of halt by drivers' strike, bringing a sigh of relief to people of the state. Several goods-laden trucks are heading towards Imphal. Drivers' community had called the steering wheel down strike against the recent attack on oil tankers and LPG trucks at Kaimai area along Imphal-Zirbam National Highway 37. On April 16, 2 drivers were injured in attack by armed miscreants and several commodities were left damaged. Drivers' community suspended their strike after reaching an agreement between Coordinating Committee of POL and Bulk LPG Service State Level Coordinating IOCL and Chief Secretary Dr. Vinit Joshi yesterday. The agreement covered standard operating procedures to be followed during goods transportation and adequate security along the national highway. 36 empty trucks heading from Imphal to Ziri have already crossed None, and around 100 trucks loaded with goods have also crossed None and are heading directly for Imphal. 25 LPG carrying trucks, 20 petrol tankers, 15 diesel trucks, 6 ATF trucks and 34 trucks carrying essential items and various other commodities are heading for Imphal. Strong wind and rain wreaked havoc in several places of Manipur this afternoon around 3. Several houses along the Mayai Lambi stretch in Samurao, Wangoi and Yumnam Huidrom areas were damaged in the rainstorm which swept briefly around 3 p.m. Tin roofing sheets of many houses were blown away by the severe storm. Trees were uprooted during the storm and fell down on roads, bringing traffic hindrance. No casualties were reported. Heavy storm also wreaked havoc at various parts of Bishnupur district this afternoon. Several houses and structures were damaged, trees were uprooted and electric poles fell on the roads, blocking roads and streets. The storm caused heavy damage on a 400 kV electric post in Nambol constituencies, Wangeng Kuman. At least 10 houses suffered damages at Kha Sadenba village. Several houses also suffered damages in various parts of None district due to hailstorm that occurred in the district this afternoon around 2:30. The hailstorm reportedly damaged crops, uprooted trees and destroyed horticulture farms in the region. This afternoon storm also damaged several houses and structures in Zirbam district. Trees were uprooted, electric poles fell off. There is no report of any casualties. Federation of Civil Society Organizations Manipur FOG says May 3 will be observed as Black Day every year. The Federation has made it clear that every indigenous community in Manipur, including FOGs and its like-minded 13 organizations, will never submit to the demand of Kuki land. Addressing the media at Kakwa Boroi Makhong in Imphal today, FOG's President T.H. Manihar highlighted that over 50,000 people in the state were left displaced, more than 200 persons killed, several still traceless, women and children abused, and several houses and properties torched in Manipur violence, which erupted on May 3 last year. He continued that May 3 will be marked as Black Day to expose the whole world about the ill intention of Chin Kuki narco-terrorists. Manihar appealed to the general public, civil society organizations, Mairapaibi groups, local clubs and organizations to observe the day by hoisting black flags at their respective residences and office campuses. He also informed that floral tributes will be offered to all the brave hearts who lost their lives in the ongoing conflict, and a public meeting will also be held to endorse Manipur's integrity on the day. He demanded action from state and central governments to restrain armed Kukis from carrying out attacks in the highways and firing in peripheral areas.
Manipur refugee on a ladiba, illegal on a sangiba, cookie sing sina, Manipur gi Asigum laba, Lama Sibu Makoki Kukilian Tanbada, Manipur gi upon Bapak over Sigi, 71%, Moy Kuki, Ogene Hibaki Dimat, Loyana, Oji Ladybug condition as the cookie and Namnataba Mapam sing Sibu, Makoki said, bread and medicine, Tangane Haidana, ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛ ꯐꯥꯎꯕꯗ ꯉꯁꯤ ꯐꯥꯎꯕꯗ ꯂꯦꯞꯇꯅ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯃꯅꯤꯄꯨꯔꯒꯤ ꯀꯝꯃꯨꯅꯤꯇꯤꯁꯤꯡꯁꯤꯗ ꯏꯟꯗꯤꯖꯤꯅꯁ ꯄꯤꯄꯜꯁꯤꯡꯗ ꯄꯤꯔꯤꯕ ꯀꯝꯃꯨꯅꯤꯇꯤꯁꯤꯡꯁꯤꯗ ꯄꯤꯔꯤꯕ ꯑꯁꯤꯒꯨꯝꯂꯕ ꯑꯋꯥꯕ ꯑꯃꯗꯤ ꯊ꯭ꯔꯦꯇꯟ ꯑꯁꯦ ꯑꯊꯨꯕ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯚꯥꯔꯠ ꯂꯩꯉꯥꯛꯅ ꯑꯃꯗꯤ ꯃꯅꯤꯄꯨꯔ ꯂꯩꯉꯥꯛꯅ ꯌꯦꯡꯁꯤꯜꯂꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯃꯁꯤ ꯂꯣꯏꯁꯤꯟꯒꯗꯕꯅꯤ.
BJP Manipur Pradesh alleges that Congress party's agendas poses a huge threat to India's integrity and identity. Addressing the media at BJP Zirbam Mandal office in Babupara, Zirbam district today, BJP Manipur Pradesh senior spokesperson M. Asni Kumar expressed shock that Congress party's poll manifesto mentions reduction of government laid down job reservation to 50%. He maintained that India has progressed significantly with the emergence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi-led NDA government. He expressed confidence that Narendra Modi-led government will return again at the centre. BJP Imphal West President P.H. Afoni was also present during the press meet.
Congress Party ki adumba agenda mayam ase Bharat ki apumbi shaktam da Bharat ki identity da social fabric da amasung akhoi harmony da yam sauna singnaba akaiba amani Congress Party ase koi Bharat ki nagrik singi koi yengnabani haiba da jongna laloi aduna vote maya da phai da haichin ba ontau da toba thabo ni tawdrabani koi lairaba tola tarba most marginalized sectors antodaya haiba BJP du makor agenda ideology makha da koi makan makha kya gi social benefit scheme mayam ma koi Bharat ki nagarik crore kya da koi kanaba phangre.
On the other hand, veteran politician Okram Joyce says the recently concluded Lok Sabha Inner Manipur election was not at all free and fair, and incidents that happened during the election brought shame to Manipur and caused a dent to democracy. The veteran politician said he has never witnessed election of such nature in his lifetime. It is unfortunate for government to remain silent when rights of citizens have been violated. Speaking to media at his residence in Kagwa today, veteran politician Okram Joy said that voting on April 19 was untimely as the state continues to reel under a restive situation. But the election was conducted in the state on the precondition that the law and order situation in the state was conducive for holding election. Joy questioned how come there were untoward incidents during the election if law and order situation was indeed conducive to hold the election.
The election se masi akoi ontona laibak thiba malemda ganatantra da amuba kalina taisen ba ganatantra masak thien ba aduga Manipur gi chapchaba democracy gi festival da koi Manipur gi ijat yon ba adunga makhan gi election ama akoi pangthokre aidana ai semaina haige that this election is not free, not fair. Free joy, they fair joy, they adu matakta pangthui election jina Manipur punamak Manipur ki prada punam ki koi mama ida am kali taisen ba ontong mi chat thir ba maling yamang ikai ngai wai ba election ma pangthui election pangthui se masa soiri se masiki tai se kanam tan to we are this is the Manipur government Manipur sarkar sini.
Proscribed Kanglei Yawol Kanalup KYKL conveys greetings to people of Wesia and Kanglei Park region on the occasion of its 30th Raising Day. Press note from the outfit chairman says communities in Manipur were well connected with a strong network of economic and social cohesion before the occupation of British, but after Manipur became part of India, they became overly dependent on the country. KYKL stresses the need for building a robust economy in Wesia region and also calls for unity among the people of Wesia and Kanglei Park. Now with that, it's time for a small commercial break. After the break, we bring you news on Manipur High Court Chief Justice Siddharth Mridul assuring displaced people of approaching centre and state government to ensure them necessary help. Keep watching Impact News.
NABH Phanglaba AOI Babina Speciality Hospital asida Medical, Surgical, Radiation Oncology, Nuclear Medicine, Laying Bagi Kudong Chaba, Pizari. State asida Ahanba Oina, Thyroid Cancer gi Iodine Therapy Haubaga Loinana, Cancer Kangdop Naba PET CT Scan Laidaba Hospital ni. CMHT PMJOY Card Paiba Amasung, Government Employees Singisu, Laying Bada Kudong Chaba, Pizari. Dr. Singna Tumor Board Pamduna, Anaba Singi Laying da Chowna Mating Pangli. Kupamarol Gidamak AOI Babina Speciality Hospital, Sajiva Jail Road, Kabaysoi, Imphal East, Tanabiu.
Sister SCD, Pesham Tangi, Indian.
Brother Honore, room has given to in an Amatamana River, bedroom the Panbayaba, Subnatagi Lupanising Kunapang, the Tonga de Gihorgana, Mezo of the Hungi. Brand Makan sooner later, room size Kuding Monkey, Chana by AC, Happy. Mezo half Imphal. phone number 708-597-1598.
Imong umada chang mapalamsing finance store da fangda leitre.
Grocery items, cosmetic items, sena chana bafiro. Electronic items, home appliances, loina na furniture items.
Isagi apamba polamsing leibada dukan amada mukchat amada mukchen tawagi mathau tadre. Hojik oirakliba leiba ki senmitlon gi fibam yengjarga penai store yonjari polam kodima ki offer pijari.
Sagolban Babudong Mantri Lekai Impal West Padi Salam Awang Lekai Sangai Tel Road Impal West the length of Pirtuna Polam Kodimak Leibagi Nungai ba Mahau Lobby Ho.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching Primetime English Bulletin. Chief Justice of High Court of Manipur, Siddharth Mridul, assures violence-affected displaced people of Manipur who are taking refuge at various relief camps that he would approach the centre and state government to ensure them necessary help. A team led by the Chief Justice provided relief materials to displaced people who are taking refuge at the relief camp opened at Ideal Girls College, Akampat, in Imphal East District today. Judges of Manipur High Court, Justice A. Bimol, Justice A. Guneshwar, Manipur State Legal Service Authority members and officials were in the team. The team also heard the grievances of the displaced people.
What we are trying to do is be the bridge and between them and the Supreme Court appointed committee so that we can assist them with all their issues, including legal issues. We are also trying from our own resources to supplement the government's efforts by providing them with mattresses, right? Children with toys, cycles, so that the young children can cycle to school because they can't afford transport fare. This is what we've been doing for the past 4 months, I believe, maybe a little more than 4 months. The idea is that all of them want to go home, but that is a political process. That is not for us to interfere with. What we can do is make sure that their voices are heard. So long as they are heard, so long as people understand what their problems are, so long as people understand what they are dealing with, what they are going through, we are sure, we are certain, we are hoping and we are praying that there would be a resolution. And there would be a resolution as soon as possible.
Mairapaibi members of Sugnu object to transferring of BSF personnel from the area. They are staging protests at the gate of Old Hospital Complex in Sugnu since yesterday in a bid to prevent personnel from BSF 167 Battalion B Company from leaving Sugnu in the wake of reported order to shift them out from Sugnu for election duty. A Mairapaibi member, Khaiden Bijia, expressed concern about the security implications of transferring the BSF personnel and urged the relevant authority to cancel the order. She urged the government to send more security personnel to maintain peace in the area amidst potential threats from armed groups.
BSF company ase lokthokpase akoi suga yajaningde mamangda horkiba land gi matungina honorable CM na Sugnu praja akoi gi damakta ngakpi senimi damakta state force chama tharakani haraga ngasi bawa tharakhiba leite maram aduna akoi kwai khuding makna Sugnu praja khuding makna haijaningba wafamdi lokthok iba force gi mathakta akoi na pambadi ahenba force thajilaga akoi praja kwai bu ngakpi senbiba asini akoi na pamjeri se.
Security forces continue carrying out search operations in various parts of the state to take stock of the prevailing violence and as preventive measures ahead of the Phase 2 Lok Sabha election, which is scheduled on April 26. In another search operation yesterday, security forces arrested one individual with weapons. The arrested person is 37-year-old Lalsan from Lengangpokpi area in Zirbam district. According to a release from Manipur Police Department Control Room, security team recovered one country-made rifle with magazine, one rifle butt, one mobile phone and a cash of 13,120 rupees from the arrested person. Security forces also recovered one assault rifle with magazine, one 12-inch single-bore barrel gun, 23 live round ammunition and 5 empty cartridge cases during combing operation carried out at Gangpijang Hill Range, Kangpopi district. Campaigning for second phase of the 18th Lok Sabha polls ended today. Phase 2 Lok Sabha election will be held on April 26. Polls will be conducted for a total of 89 seats in 13 states of the country. Manipur, Assam, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Tripura, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal along with Jammu and Kashmir will go to polls in the second phase. Ahead of the second phase 18 Lok Sabha election in respect of Ukhrul on April 26, District Election Officer DC Zuringla Kengu flagged off 58 polling teams for 44 Ukhrul SD, AC and 45 Chennai SC from Bakshi ground today. District Election Officer of Technopal District Krishna Kumar also today dispersed polling personnel who will be doing duties at 40 polling stations of Technopal District for Outer ST Manipur Parliamentary Constituency election on April 26. The polling personnel were dispersed from Maha Union Government High Secondary School Complex at Chandel District Headquarters. Press release from District Election Officer Technopal informs that Indo-Myanmar border has been sealed by abiding ECI's guidelines to do so prior to 72 hours from the commencement of the second phase of 18 Lok Sabha polls to be held on April 26. Thambal Khong Thongna Phabi VLF, Laishram Laikai Apunba VLF, Asha workers and Karkinos Healthcare jointly organized cancer awareness camp and screening at Panthoibi Community Hall at Kongba Laishram Laikai, Chanam Laithong today. Speaking on the sidelines, Karkinos Manipur Cancer Institute and Research Center Screening Officer Wahengbam Imo called for proactive healthcare with early screening for breast and womb cancers, which are the two most common type of cancers found among women. Former Imphal East Zilla Parishad Upadhyaksha Ketritama also called for timely checkups and treatment at the slightest of experiencing any symptoms.
Hojikse cancer have say mipum kuni mukta loi thunga ani aro cancer da king aktok ke haira ge khoi gi amata oi ba khoi gi khulai hai tar ga di ain mamang ju samjaki ba jam toina khoi na screening tok tok pi ba ri batam cha chana doctor tana bi ba si na ta na khoi cancer da king aktok ko ngod da bi labi sulai leitre masi mayam na hitang serious oina lobiu aro kai you know de khoi na hari ba message se kai ta ra khoi leibak chin ma tung na khoi na chala chala ga awareness to bu su ngam da bani na masi khoi gi media ge through da hari ba aina thamjari ba message se mayam public na tabi raga haribo kan sagi matam cha chana screening toba adigi doctor tana base masi soidan tobiu habase ai thamjage.
Urban Primary Health Center, Kwaketil and Sana Janmastan Club Kashamthong jointly organized one-day medical camp at Janmastan Club's hall at Kashamthong, Moirang Ningtho later today. Many locals availed health checkup facilities during the medical camp. As a part of the month-long World Red Cross Day observation, Indian Red Cross Society, IRCS Bishnupur District Branch, Blessed Diagnostics Parampat and Chayatap Foundation jointly organized a one-day liver fibroscan screening camp at Blessed Diagnostics Sample Collection Center, Bishnupur District today. The camp was organized under the sponsorship of Zydus Korza Division. A total of 62 persons from Bishnupur District availed liver fibroscan screening during the camp. Additional Deputy Commissioner Imphal East, Dr. N. Johnson, encourages youth to focus on becoming job providers instead of job seekers. Speaking at the certificate distribution event for trainees of 5 different courses under PMKVY at Liberal College in Luang Sangbam today, Dr. N. Johnson stressed the need for students to acquire various skills alongside education to lay foundation for self-reliance and community benefit. He urged trainees to utilize their knowledge in serving the public. Joint Secretary of Trade, Commerce and Industry P. Lenin and Principal of Liberal College, Professor N. Sanjoy attended the event among others.
Overall, simple life skill PhD mayam so recognize tawre adu yena khadi ki do nanda ta bachao la re ira so ai koi se lairi khakta na skill la monda vocational course ko ding manta train to sangi.
Now in international news, Minister of Foreign Affairs Taiwan Dr. Joseph Wu highlights the potential for semiconductor production collaboration between Taiwan and India, emphasizing India's appeal as a destination for major supply chains moving out of China. Taiwan has established itself as a prominent microchip manufacturer, asserting dominance in the global marketplace. In 2024, Taiwan's semiconductor sector contributed around $115 billion, representing approximately 20% of the global semiconductor industry. Particularly in foundry operations, Taiwanese firms hold a commanding 50% share of the world market, with the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company TSMC emerging as the largest player in the foundry market. During a recent meeting with journalists from India, Japan, South Korea, New Zealand and Taiwan, who were participating in the Indo-Pacific Journalist Study Tour and Dialogue 2024 in Taiwan, entitled Enhancing Regional Connections, Taiwan Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Wu underlined the importance of infrastructure, reliable resources like water and electricity, and streamlined regulations to attract semiconductor investments in India. Dr. Wu also stressed the need for a complete supply chain, including IC designers, testers, and material suppliers. He expressed optimism that discussions between the two nations would lead to concrete actions to realize this vision. The Migration and Mobility Agreement signed between Taiwan and India on February 16, 2024 signals a positive step towards facilitating the employment of Indian workers across diverse sectors in Taiwan. While the specific details of the Memorandum of Understanding's implementation are still being finalized, the agreement holds a promise for both nations, potentially enhancing cooperation and opportunities for workers from India in Taiwan. The bilateral relations between India and Taiwan have indeed seen improvements since the 1990s, despite the absence of official diplomatic ties.
Infrastructure has to be there, and this is the area that our industries are not quite certain about. For example, reliable supply of water, reliable supply of electricity, and other than that, transportation has to be there. So if the Indian government is serious about this and putting all this together, I'm sure it's going to be very attractive to the semiconductor industries to think about an investment in India. And other than that, India is known to be very cumbersome in its tax and administrative structure. And I think it will require Indian governments to look at this in a more serious way to streamline all kinds of rules and regulations to welcome.
Now the sports news. Cyclone Thangmeiban storms into the final of the 8th MNCA W Pralada and W Ramananda Elite Cricket Tournament. In the first qualifier match that was played today at Luang Pokpa Cricket Stadium, Chem Khangempally elected to field first against Cyclone Thangmeiban. Batting first, Cyclone Thangmeiban scored 190 runs in the given 40 overs, losing 9 wickets. Al-Bashid made 75 runs in the innings. In reply, Chem Khangempally were bowled out for 108 runs in 34 overs and 5 balls, thus losing the match by 82 runs. Cyclone Thangmeiban's all-rounder Kishan Laishram, who scored 33 runs and picked up 3 wickets, was adjudged the man of the match. PTRC Patsoi Part 4 will take on Trau Kwakaitel in the next eliminator match tomorrow. In the second MNCA Women's Under-19 One-Day Trophy being organized by Manipur Cricket Association, Force Khetrigao defeated Al Amin Lilong by 295 runs in the 15th league match played today at Thau Ground. Opting to bat first, Force Khetrigao scored a total of 358 runs in the given 35 overs and lost its 2 wickets. In the second innings, Al Amin Lilong scored only 63 runs in 22 overs and 4 balls, losing all their 10 wickets. All-rounder Barkatun Khanam of Force Khetrigao, who scored 151 runs and claimed 2 wickets, was declared player of the match. In the last league match played at Dhobi Lampa Kongba Kunau Ground, Thau Thangmeiban defeated PCC Meaikoibi by 9 wickets. Earlier in the match, PCC Meaikoibi, who batted first, scored 54 runs in 19 overs and 2 balls without completing the given 35 overs, losing all the 10 wickets. In reply, Thau Thangmeiban scored 57 runs in 13 overs and 1 ball and lost only 1 wicket. Bowler H. Malim Kombi of Thau Thangmeiban, who took 5 wickets, was adjudged player of the match. In the first semi-final of the cricket trophy, Thau Thamweban and PTCC Patsoi Part 3 will lock horns, while AKSDO Kangabok will play against Force Ketrigao in the second semi-final match. Now, before we end, let's take a look at headlines once again. Unidentified miscreants destroy bridge along National Highway No. 2 Imphal-Dimapur Road between Kaugru Lekha and Sapramaina using powerful IED in the wee hours today. Movement of goods-laden trucks along National Highway 37 Imphal-Zirbam Road resumes with adequate security convoys after 8 days of halt by driver strike. Heavy storm wreaks havoc in several districts of Manipur, damaging several houses. No reports of any casualties so far. And Manipur High Court Chief Justice Siddharth Mridul assures violence-affected displaced people of Manipur of approaching centre and state government to ensure them necessary help. That's all we have in this bulletin. Thank you for being with us. Coming up next is Primetime Manipuri Bulletin. Have a great evening and stay safe.
Sri Sri Gaurachandraya Nama. Purbashramda Ekoi Kwai Pumnamaki Irakta Tinbiramba Komdram